Hey, what's going on, horror community? This is Cenobite Sith again. I'm reporting to you from my horror dungeon. I was discussing some, books and films today with Andre de la Morte, and he was like, "Why don't you make another video and maybe show some of your books?" So I thought it would be a cool idea, and I want to share this other medium that I still think conveys the terror and intrigue of horror. I'm going to start off with a book that I picked up. It wasn't that expensive, like 10 bills. I picked it up at the Mother Shop. Sorry, that's a San Diego fanboy thing, but if you ever NSD, go to El Cajon and ask for the Mother Shop. It's called Thrills and Chills. It's by Comic Works. They put out online comics, but annually they'll do a themed paperback edition of some of their favorite stuff or some of the best stuff. This one was really cool. I mean, there's some stories in here, honestly, that the artwork's just kind of ridiculous, and I didn't really care for. Thought it was kind of weird, not necessarily saying that this is some of it, but the stories all have to do with demons or bad dreams or monsters, robots. I don't know. It's just it's kind of what it is. It's Thrills and Chills. It's a monster mashup. I know trolls out there would enjoy this type of thing. There is some shit in here though that's just crap that you would find in certain online comic websites, but I mean, you get over it pretty fast when you come across a cool story. Next, sorry, I have no particular order, by the way. I'm just pulling these out of the stack over here. This is by John Cohart, and I picked this book up. Sorry about the glare, folks. I picked this book up at Comic-Con a few years back, and it has an introduction and some writing by Alan Moore, and it's just fucking intense. For those of you who are into like almost those engravings like Gustavo Dora and that type of intense line drawing and just dark apocalyptic scenery and stuff, this is, I mean, the detail this guy puts in his work is just ridiculous, and it has the Haunter of the Dark and the Call of Cthulhu both in here, and then it just has a lot of random artwork with these with a cool kind of back glossary of what Lovecraft called the Great Ones, or the Great Old Ones, and it has descriptions of all the demons by Alan Moore. The artwork in the comic book itself is fucking amazing. I wish you could. I'm sure you can see that to some extent. I mean, if you ever can get your hands on this book, go for it. It's some badass horror comics. Next, I know you guys are gonna love this, and I know I love it because it's by an artist that I love. John Bolton. When he also worked on the Hellraiser ones that I showed back when I did my top 10 horror film video, or whatever you want to call it. But this is the movie adaptation of Army of Darkness, and if you want me to be honest with you, straight up, the movie itself works because it's Bruce Campbell and it does what it does, and it's just a movie that's never gonna die. But in the sense of like a story, I don't know if any of you guys ever even got on those 22s, but this movie adaptation and all the stuff they added and can add, because it's a comic book and not a movie, and there's no such thing as a budget, and they're just rolling on the imagination of the creator, I mean the writer and the artist and all that, you just get a ton of fanboy goodness that you really just wish was in the movie. But for those of you who don't know John Bolton's artwork, it's pretty badass. It's I don't know, I don't want to disgrace his work and try to describe it or something, but I'll just try to show you the best I can. There's Evil Ash sitting on his throne. It's badass. Pick it up if you're ever at a comic shop and they have it. It's just the Army of Darkness movie adaptation. One of my favorite comics books that I have in my horror collection. Also, I showed these again. I won't go too much on them, but they're the Hellraiser books, which I didn't even know were in existence until Andre de la Morte brought them up to me when we were looking through some stuff at Con. The first one is it's pretty simple. It's just got Pinhead on the cover and then the description of the stories on the back. Again, John Bolton does some really, really awesome stuff in here. Check that out. And it's just multiple stories by a ton of different people and their interpretations of the Cenobites and the Hell Dimension and the Lament Configuration and all that stuff. The second and third one get a little more intense, than I'd say probably a little bit more experimental. Like they start going into some real like kind of alternative stuff, but you still get awesome Cenobite artwork and a lot of different artists working together. This is pretty badass too. But yeah, I mean, I don't even really know where to find these, so I mean, maybe look online for them if you're interested, or maybe just laugh at me because I own them. I don't know, whichever you want to do. This one I just found at a bookstore. I actually found it for really cheap, so it was kind of badass. It's called Monsters: A Field Guide to Bloodthirsty Beasts, and it's kind of comical in the sense of like it's trying to be one of those like eyewitness books, but it just like shows monsters and shit, and I mean it's an extensive like collection of movie characters, and then it tells you like, you know, where they're from and what they do and what they're infamous for. And they've got stuff from like mutated men, animals, kaiju, old school stuff. Like, I mean, it's pretty interesting, except the guy sometimes, his jokes is not that funny. It's just not that funny at all. And then you just have to deal with it when you're trying to learn about something. My next book I picked up at an awesome booth at Comic-Con. I love this book. It's an amazing collection of paintings, and it is incredibly badass. It's called Aliens, Predator, Panel to Panel. It has an introduction by Dan O'Bannon. He wrote Alien and also directed Return of the Living Dead. The paintings in here are awesome. They go through the Alien, you know, stories and comic splash pages and stuff, to Predator, to Alien versus Predator. This is some really awesome depictions of predators, and I'm gonna try to show this as best I can. It's kind of a big book. This is a great 2-pager right here. But John Bolton again returns. I mean, this guy's got his hands in the gore, if you know what I mean. He's in a lot of stuff. Arthur Sudane's in here as well. I'd like to show you one of his paintings. Mike Mignola as well, for you Hellboy fans. He contributed. All in all, this book is definitely a treasure. I know you can find it on Amazon. It has this cool kind of like shiny cover. I don't know, I'm not going to try to sell it to you, but you know what it is. And next up, probably one of my favorite books in my whole entire collection ever. I found this in the Narrows at Con from an old man with a white beard with a crooked eye and an old dog, called The Book of the Dead. And this is, like it says right there, the complete history of zombie cinema. It is just everything zombies, everything from the beginning of, well, they even give you a really kind of lengthy introduction of zombies, period, and their history to mankind and stories and all that stuff. And then it goes into the black and white films, novels that dealt with it, the political undercurrents and social commentary that greats like Romero have brought into their films were even addressed in books and even older films, you know what I mean? Although, one thing I have to say that I didn't like about the book is the writer. He seems like kind of a pompous conservative guy who thinks he's really funny, trying to discuss the underground subculture devotion to the zombie film, and I don't think he understands it, and he thinks his analysis of it is funny, and I don't, because I think the zombie genre is an incredible topic, and you can address it on a real serious political post-apocalyptic level, or on a all-out, we're just gonna blast this house to hell and spray gore everywhere type of thing. So don't appreciate his approach to something I love so much, but it is an amazing encyclopedia for anything zombie. It has these in the middle, it has all these awesome posters from around the world, from Japanese horror to American horror. Here we can see Tom Savini's version of Night of the Living Dead, and of course Andrea de la Morte's favorite, De la Morte del Amore. That's actually how we discovered that beautiful film, through this book, and it's actually the Japanese cover, so I have to throw that in there. I have an obsession with Japanese covers. You get some awesome Day of the Dead photos, some Romero stuff. The rest is just a lot of just descriptions of how zombies have transcended through cinema, and this, I think that's Bride of Reanimator right there, I'm not sure. It's cool, man. They show you everything. Here's some other amazing posters. You get a lot of Italian posters and stuff like that in here. It's really badass. But if you can get, it's not even that expensive. Go on Amazon. Don't argue with the two dead guys coming out of the ground. Try to find this book. You know when you're hanging out with a group of people and somebody's like, that zombie movie, and you're just like, oh, but there's so many fucking thousands of zombie movies, I don't know which one. Now you know which one, and now you can watch them. That's about it. I'll probably come back and show you some other random bullshit, but yeah, thanks for watching, and stay bloody.